Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday so far. I'm just going to pull up some extra programs in the background really quick because I did forget to. Let's see what we have in here in today's stream. We have Caleb, we have Edits, LWX24, Pete, as well as Indiana, Proxy, Liam, let's see, French Toast, Misty, The Gaming, and Alt as well as everybody else who is in here who may not be chatting. Glad to have you in here as well, Yankee and Pez. Let's go right ahead and switch on over to our main scene. If I can find it, there we go. And we're going to go right ahead and dive on into what's happening across the country right now. And there's really not a whole lot happening at the moment. We do have some thunderstorms, I suppose you could call them. Not a lot of them have thunder. Most of this is just ordinary showers out here, stretching from south central, or rather southwestern, kind of central Tennessee, up through southwestern Kentucky, through central northeastern Kentucky, and then into portions of far southern Ohio and southeastern Indiana. We do have a batch of freezing precipitation moving across from about central Indiana, near Indianapolis, back down just near in between Cincinnati and Columbus, Ohio. That's going to continue eastward over the next couple of days or so, as it eventually will make its way into Pennsylvania tomorrow morning and then into the New England states as we go through very late tomorrow night. And that's the start of our ice storm / winter storm. The main snow side of things with this system is going to be staying way up here, up into North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, through Wisconsin, and probably eventually going into portions of Michigan and then into Ontario. And eventually we'll look through some model runs into the New England states like New York, Vermont, and Massachusetts sometime tomorrow. In terms of severe weather, we do actually have a marginal risk for severe weather outlined from the Storm Prediction Center for today. We do have a opportunity for a spin-up tornado or two overnight tonight in and around the Nashville, Tennessee area, up through Bowling Green, Kentucky, into Elizabethtown, Kentucky as well. That's south of Louisville, Kentucky. So there is a chance for a tornado or two, some hail up to about a ½ inch to an inch in diameter, and damaging winds up to 50 to 60 miles per hour will be possible in the overnight hours into the extremely early morning hours of tomorrow. We'll go over that on the SPC side as well because there is a day 2 risk. And before we get into all the winter storm stuff, that's exactly what I want to go over just briefly before we dive into all of our model data on these upcoming winter storms. Let's dive into our severe weather. So we already looked at that outlook, but I want to go ahead and show you this one here. This is going to be your marginal risk for tomorrow. We actually don't have a tornado risk for tomorrow, mainly going to be the opportunity for 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, as well as, well, we could see some isolated small hail up to about a ½ inch in diameter, but they haven't outlined any specific areas for large hail. Caleb, now that would be hilarious if you go to Florida and then your town in Illinois ends up with a snowstorm. That would be that would just be the most Caleb thing ever right there. We'll see. I wonder if that might actually happen. We'll look at some model runs. I'll try to remember that you're going to Florida next week. I'm sure there'll be a snowstorm once you're gone. So as we go into the day 7 and 8 time frame, that is the 11th and 12th of this month, of course, Tuesday and Wednesday into next week. That's going to be the opportunity for some isolated severe weather. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at that on our model runs. I haven't checked this, honestly. I've been more focused on the winter storm side of things. But here's the 11th and the 12th, and you can see we could get some supercell composite, which is tornado ingredients, entering the far southern portions of the United States, like Louisiana, southeastern Texas, southern Mississippi, and southern Alabama. Could end up getting some isolated tornadic activity Tuesday and Wednesday this upcoming week. Nashville, I think Nashville is going to be primarily just rain. I don't think we'll see a lot in terms of snow or ice in Nashville anytime soon. The only thing I'd be concerned of is the risk of overnight damaging winds tonight. We'll go to the newest model run here. So this is your newest model run, and it really doesn't show a whole lot for Nashville. It just shows some isolated light to moderate rainfall. So I really don't think Nashville will see much out of this. Even though you're in that 2% tornado risk, I don't personally see much with this severe weather setup. I just don't really see it. We might be able to squeeze out a tornado. I think this would be your greatest opportunity right here. This is about 5 a.m. It's about 5, 6 a.m. We might be able to squeeze out a tornado or two in this area up here, but that's out of Tennessee. That's into Kentucky. Is that where the 2% is? Let's go check again. So the SPC, okay, yeah, that is still where the SPC has their 2%. I think I'd be leaning more towards that northern side for the greatest opportunity for a tornado. So from like Clarksville, Tennessee, through Bowling Green, Kentucky, into Elizabethtown, southeast towards Somerset, Kentucky. That would be the main area I would focus on for a tornado risk tonight. Probably the primary time frame will be from about 3 a.m. to 6 or 7 a.m. Eastern time. Hello, Carson. Welcome to the stream. Rare sighting of Carson. He's not in here that often. About time you tune back in. I mean, thanks for tuning in, Carson. Glad to have you here. And there he is. I gotta go, but I just wanted proof I'm alive. I told mods. I said to every mod in here, all I need you to chat like once a month, and you'll keep your mod. That's all I need. If you just chat one time in a month, you don't have to be here every stream. Just one chat every month, so I know you're alive and you're good. So that's what Carson's going off of. Let me do 1 or 2 chats in the chat per month, and then that's it. I mean, that's all I require. Let me go up to here. Okay, let's go and dive on into our official outlooks now. We'll start with the Weather Prediction Center if we can. Yep, so this is your Weather Prediction Center. Let's put y'all over here so it's more centered and you're not... Yeah, there you go. And you're not, you know, completely off-centered like we're in Lucky's stream or something. So this is your risks for today. We've got freezing rain being possible in that pink dashed area, all the way from southeastern Illinois, northeastern Missouri, through much of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, even as far south as where I am out here in southwestern, south central Virginia, all possible for some freezing rain. And then if you're in that blue, that's where you could see some rain, some freezing rain, and some snow, mixture of all types of precipitation. And if you are in the white up here, that's where you're looking at primarily all snow being possible for today. Also, like we mentioned, could see some severe weather here. This dashed line, it's a little difficult to see, but it goes through this area here. That's where you could see some rumbles of thunder. Could have some rumbles of thunder. Also, isolated heavy rain will be possible, but your main severe weather risk we just went over should be focused in about this area right here, kind of central Kentucky, a little bit more southeast than that. Central Kentucky into Tennessee, generally in that area, will be where we have the possibility for some a spin up tornado, damaging winds, and some small hail. And then as we go into tomorrow, that whole risk shifts up to the north and east. We will have still a chance for some thunderstorms here, but I don't think they will really be all that notable. We could see, like we mentioned, some damaging winds in this area, but really not going to see a lot of activity with that. And of course, same old thing here, freezing rain with mixed precipitation in much of the New England states, and then of course some snow being possible in the entire state of Maine, as well as behind the system up towards your Great Lakes regions where we'll see that lake effect snowfall occur. Then as we go on into Friday now, some freezing rain and mixed precipitation will be possible across much of the same areas: Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, this time maybe even as far south as into central, eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia, with some thunderstorms being possible to the south of those locations as well. Not severe weather, just thunderstorms being possible, so you could have some lightning, rumbles of thunder, heavy rain, but no severe weather, like no damaging winds, no hail, and no tornadoes with that threat going into Friday. And now we're going to take it through the fronts forecast here from the Weather Prediction Center. So this is for about what we're seeing right now across the country. We're seeing some freezing rain out in these regions. We should see some ice and mixed precipitation begin over portions of Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin as we go throughout the rest of tonight. Some isolated thunderstorms that we just looked at out here in Kentucky, Tennessee, into Mississippi and Alabama. Nothing severe. Then as we go throughout the rest of tonight, all that stuff will just continue to slowly shift eastward, northeastward as we go into tomorrow afternoon. This is for 1 p.m. tomorrow, continuing with that mixed precipitation, heavy snowfall in portions of Vermont and Maine. Going into Friday morning now, should be a pretty inactive Friday. I don't think we will be seeing much activity across the country on Friday. And that's pretty weird because of only one reason. It's the one day that I'm available. I will not be available probably Saturday and most likely not even Sunday to do much weather coverage or much videos. So we'll be live probably Friday again to update you guys on the weather, but I most likely won't be able to cover what we'll be able to see here Saturday. Saturday will most likely be one of our more widespread snowstorms here of this month. Now, we could get even some more widespread snowstorms towards the middle of February, but right now on their forecast, this is the most widespread snowstorm that they are forecasting, with heavy snow in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, what is that state? Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Iowa, all seeing winter storm impacts going into Saturday. And then, of course, it gets out of here going into Sunday. This is Sunday morning, very early Sunday morning. We could have some lingering snow up there in the New England states. Monday, we'll start to see another snowstorm begin to build out here in the southern U.S. Now, this one has a lot of question marks with it. This definitely has a lot of uncertainty on how much snow and ice we may be able to see. Right now, the Weather Prediction Center is forecasting a very large area for light to moderate snowfall, and then a very kind of regional, smaller region for heavier snow out here in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, maybe into northern Delaware, as well as going into the higher elevations of West Virginia and western Maryland. That is for Tuesday, February 11th. Then as we go into Wednesday, kind of sticks around. It should just stick around going into Wednesday. We'll still see some snow out there in the New England states, and then snow back out here being possible towards Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. But again, that has a lot of question marks with it. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, both of I just said both. All three of those days have the most uncertainty with them. So we'll have to wait until we get closer in order to work out that uncertainty and be able to give you a more accurate forecast. And we'll update you guys on those 3 particular days in our live stream on Friday. We'll also go over it in this stream, of course, but we'll have more info on Friday. And I believe that's pretty much it for the Weather Prediction Center. We'll go ahead and move on over to our main model runs here. So let's go over to our GFS model on College of Dew page. And this is where things get a little bit more easy to understand exactly how widespread these snowstorms may be able to be. So going into Thursday, this is tomorrow morning here around 8, 9 a.m. Again, heavy snow across New York, much of the New England states. I'll just say that. I mean, pretty much all the New England states will end up with some snow going into tomorrow morning through all day tomorrow into tomorrow night, and then going into Friday morning. That will slowly exit the United States coastline. Like I said, not much activity on Friday. We could have some rain begin to build in out here in the central United States, maybe some snow back out here in the Pacific Northwest, but really not looking at anything notable for your day on Friday. That's February 7th. Going into Saturday, that's where we could start to begin seeing our snowstorm form. Now, this particular model run wants our snowstorm to be up here in Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, into much of the New England states. Some models have this slightly to the south, but I really think this is going to be about the area where we have to watch the most, maybe a little bit more west than that as well. Really, this whole area here is going to be where we have to watch for the greatest opportunity of heavy snow going through Saturday. And then as we go through Saturday evening into Sunday morning, you can see how heavy that snow could get, especially Sunday morning in the interior New England states there. That's where we could pick up on as much as a foot of snowfall Sunday morning. It's a little tricky to see, rather say exactly how much snow we could see out of this. Some models want a foot. This one wants about 7 to 8 inches of snow, but generally we're looking at a lot of snow in the New England states here. You can see you go from about 3 inches of snow all the way to 13. So right around a foot of snow, probably a bit less than a foot of snow will be possible going into Sunday morning with this system. And then a next snowstorm right away. Then literally the next day going into Monday, this is where uncertainty is high. Remember, we've got a lot of uncertainty on this because it's pretty far out and it's a pretty complex setup. It's going to depend fully on how far south this purple line can get. This is your 540 line. And the more south it gets, the more snow we will be able to see. Right now, the GFS has that 540 line almost into Oklahoma, southern Missouri, into southern Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, and then into Maryland and Delaware. And that results in a little snowstorm. It's not really a full snowstorm, but close. It would be close to a snowstorm for Central Virginia. Almost 6 inches of snow going into Wednesday, or rather all day Monday. Don't know where I got Wednesday from there. All day Monday, borderline snowstorm in Virginia, and then it gets a lot more widespread into Tuesday. Look at Tuesday. That's where it gets a lot more widespread here. Seeing snow all the way from Kansas through Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, and then into the New England states throughout all day here on Tuesday. Potentially even a major snowstorm for portions of the mid-Atlantic there. But again, it's one model run, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to the exact details of this model. But all of our models do hint towards a snowstorm happening here Tuesday, generally in this region. I do think it will be more to the south here, more in the southern areas that I've circled. I think this area we'll end up seeing that greatest amount of snow totals, at least going into Tuesday from what I can tell. It fully depends on how far south that 540 line goes, though, because if the 540 line goes towards like Tennessee, Mississippi, or Alabama, then this whole area would end up being full snow. So we'll keep an eye on our models and see which way they shift. And then guess what? Not going to see any breaks. Going into Wednesday, we're going to be tracking another winter storm going through much of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. And this actually has quite a bit of confidence here Both from about the 11th through the 13th of February, there is pretty high confidence on multiple ice storms out here in the mid-Atlantic portions of the U.S., specifically in Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania there, getting multiple ice storms, which actually will start tomorrow. Going through the 13th of February, you'll see yet another New England major snowstorm there being a possibility. And it doesn't end there. Why would it end there? Here's the 14th of February. Another snowstorm here on this model run. I think that's like 6 or 7. Why would it end there? Let's see. Here comes another one. This one's for Texas. Okay. Okay, that's a little... Oh, wow. Okay, that's really ahead of itself there. Wow. Going to Virginia and North Carolina. Wow. Yeah, that's like 10 snowstorms now. That's into the 18th of February. That is crazy. Oh, and look at that. This is almost at the end of the model run, and you can see we haven't had it render in completely, but it sets up for another snowstorm. So assuming that goes into a snowstorm as well, let's count how many. So we get the one today into tomorrow. That's 1. Then we get 2, which is on February 8th and 9th. Then we get number 3 on the 10th, number 4 on the 11th, number 5 on the 12th, number 6 on the 13th and 14th, number 7 on the 15th, and number 8 on the 16th, with number 9 on the 18th and 19th. And then actually we do, that's, I don't know if that's really, I don't think I'd consider that a snowstorm. So that, we'll just not even count that one. We won't count that. That's not a snowstorm in my opinion. And then this one may be number 8 there. So you're looking at probably 7 or 8 snowstorms on this one model run. And what's the result? Yes, that. That's the result. Snow in Texas, the Carolinas, the New England states, Central Plain, everybody. Everybody who normally sees snow in winter gets snow. Except for Tennessee. Sorry, Legacy. I wonder if that... Let me zoom in. Okay, nope. My bad. I'm sorry. The sliver portions of Tennessee in both of these areas, these 2 tiny areas, actually do end up with snow. Look at that, even into Mississippi, Alabama. I think the only state that doesn't get snow on this map is Florida. That's the only one that doesn't get snow on this particular map. I mean, literally, look at every state. Every single state has snow. Every last one, just not Florida, because, well, Florida typically doesn't see snow in a winter season. But, shoot, 2025 ain't typical, is it? So, wouldn't be surprised if the end of the very, very end of the GFS spit out a Florida snowstorm or something. I don't know. It just wouldn't surprise me at all. Now let's go ahead and look at your most likely snow totals. So, this is a map you can, you know, I wouldn't say fully trust, but it is a more accurate map compared to just looking at individual model runs. So we're going to go all the way out until, we'll go into Sunday next week. So 270 hours out. That's still pretty far, but we'll go 270 hours out there. And you can see, once again, just like I said in the video, if you're anywhere in the blue, the dark blue or pink or purple, that's where we're going to be seeing our snowstorms in the U.S. So pretty much the entire central United States, and especially the New England states. Some models and ensembles actually picked up on the potential for up to 2 feet of snow in the New England states over the next like week and a half or so. Remember, this is your average, your mean accumulation between all your 20, 30 different members for the GFS ensemble here. So this is pretty much almost what I would expect in locations. So especially up here in the Twin Cities, and if we switch back over, I know we're switching a lot, but you can see how much these 2 maps vary. This one is a lot more aggressive in some spots. The only area it leaves out is right here. It leaves out that area thanks to mixing issues, but if we go back to your mean accumulation, you can see it fills it in there. So generally, over the next week and a half or so, I would expect probably 2 to 4 inches of snow in most of these areas here in the central United States. Of course, we could see some areas get a little less. We could see some areas get significantly more. And if I'm in the New England states out here, including some of the mid-Atlantic states, really going to be looking at or rather not four, I should say 6 to probably 8 inches of snow if you are in that purple. And then the pink, you're looking at very close to, if not a foot of snowfall over the next week and a half being possible. And again, this is just the average. A lot of areas, especially in the New England states, are going to see more snow than what this is showing, because there's going to be very specific areas that get under the heaviest bands of snow, and then there's going to be some regions that end up unfortunately getting under mainly just rain and mixed precipitation and not ending up seeing all the snow that's originally being possible for them. Let's see here. 3-hour delay for school because of ice does not surprise me. Ice is definitely something they take seriously. Most schools take ice very seriously, and it doesn't take a lot of ice to cause delays in closures. So this is the snow accumulation for the next about 108 hours. So this is fairly accurate. This is not getting into Fantasyland or La La Land or anything like that. This is a fairly accurate map. Now, in terms of exact totals, it's going to vary, but generally you can see we're anticipating the potential for between 6 to 8 inches of snow throughout much of this area in here. And then again, 8 to a foot of snowfall in much of the New England states. And again, this is just over the next about 108 hours. So this isn't a bunch of snow over the course of like 3 or 4 weeks, right? It's just simply not even a week. I think this is like 5 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, about five days. 5 days. So this is the next 5 days of snowfall being possible here in the U.S. And I'll just show you here. That's your precipitation type. You can see that ice storm too. Let's look at the ice really quick, because that's going to end up being a big issue. So for our first ice storm here, which is going to impact much of the state of Pennsylvania into northern Virginia, far northeastern West Virginia, and maybe even into the far northern areas of the Ohio Valley. We could see up to, the National Weather Service is forecasting up to an inch of snowfall, or not snow, rather ice, up to an inch of ice being possible in this particular area here of central southern Pennsylvania into Maryland, northern Virginia, northeastern West Virginia on late tonight into much of your Thursday afternoon hours. And I do want to show you here, we actually have blizzard. What? Okay, we actually have blizzard warnings that were recently issued out here for, oh, I forgot what you call this. This is Michigan, but it's a specific part of Michigan. Peninsula? I don't know if you call it a peninsula. I know this is the oven mitt. The non-oven mitt part of Michigan has blizzard warnings there. But we do have ice storm warnings in effect out here for portions of central Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania, into far northern Virginia, the higher elevations of West Virginia, and into far western Maryland, with a lot of winter weather advisories, a bunch of winter weather advisories. The entire state of Massachusetts, or nearly the entire state of Massachusetts there, all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, all of New Hampshire, all of Vermont, almost all of New York, almost all of Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, all of Delaware, almost, if not all of Maryland, most of northern Virginia, most of northern central Ohio, most of Indiana, southern central Michigan as well, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, most of central southeastern Iowa, southeastern Nebraska, and northern Missouri under those winter weather advisories. Almost all of this is going to be for ice. If not all of this will be for ice. We could see some snow, of course, up to about 4 to 6 inches of snowfall, I'd say is like the max. Let's go ahead and quickly check. So from this first snowstorm alone, which will literally be tomorrow, Yeah, it looks like mainly 2 to 4 inches of snow will be possible. Not really any significant snow accumulations with our first snowstorm. Our main snow accumulations will be from our second snowstorm on Saturday night into Sunday morning, which again, unfortunately, I don't believe I'll be able to. Um, mm, there's a chance I'll be able to do a live stream Saturday night if I'm really up for it, but I'm going to be busy most of the day on Saturday and most of the day on Sunday. So that's why I said we'll probably end up coming back here on Friday, this Friday, to just give you an update on what may happen. Give me a moment here. Okay. What do you think is the worst storm for New York City out of all the systems? So it's hard to say exactly which one because we don't know how significant the ones towards like February 13th or so may be. New York City could be right on that cut line where to your north they end up with like 7, 8 inches of snow, but in New York City you end up with literally 0 inches of snow. So I can't say for certain on which one's the most significant. But the one I'm watching for New York City, it's probably going to be the 9th. That is the closest one. And if we look at the accumulation, I believe New York City's right around here. So New York City would get about 4 to 6 inches of snow on Sunday, February 9th. Now, we could get a more significant snowstorm towards the dead middle or later portion of February. But in terms of actual forecast reliability, the 9th looks like the greatest opportunity for heavy snow in New York City. I don't think I can show you any official forecast, unfortunately, because it's too far out, but most likely you'll be looking at between 4 to 6 inches of snow being possible. Oof. Yeah, some of them go very, very hefty for New York City there. Looks like the Euro's on the same boat there, around 6 inches of snow. Same goes for the GFS, and it's hard to tell with the Canadian, but if we zoom in as much as we can, it looks like that's about 5, 6 inches of snow. So most models are in agreement that February 9th will be the most significant for New York City. But again, there's a chance we see something even more significant. For instance, the European model run. So if we just leave our cursor right here, let's say this right here is New York City, where it says 5.4 inches of snow. The Euro model on the, what is it? It's like the 17th of February. Look at this. So it went from 5.4 to about 19.2 inches of snow on Monday and Tuesday, February 17th and 18th. The Euro goes absolutely crazy. And another thing, this is actually, if this happened, it would be a literally record-breaking historic snowstorm on the 16th and 17th. This would result in 36 inches of snow. That is 3 feet of snow in a 24-hour time frame in central Ohio. 40 inches of snowfall there. That would be over the course of about 30 hours, but over the course of like 24 hours, it would be 36 inches of snow over the course of 24 hours there. And I don't know why the European model run went so absurd with this. I'll show you it here. I'll show you it right here on Tropical Tidbits so you can see the precipitation. Again, this is not going to happen. There's no way it will happen. We're probably going to look at a winter storm at that time frame, but something this significant, I doubt it. Let's just look at this. So this is into the morning of the 15th, and watch what happens here. 16th, 17th, and then look at that. Morning of the 17th. That band of snow right here, I imagine that is probably hourly rates of about 3 inches of snow per hour. Maybe even more than that. And that is just absurd. Now, if we look at the GFS for this same time frame, look at that. Nothing. Literally nothing. Not even a snowflake for the most of the state of Ohio. I mean, that's crazy. You go from literally a record shattering snowstorm on the European model run to not even rain in Ohio. Matter of fact, the GFS gives me the snow out here in North Carolina and Virginia as opposed to Ohio. So that shows you there is literally like zero confidence on it happening right now. First, we got to get through these snowstorms. We got to get through the snowstorm tomorrow, late tonight into tomorrow. Then this bigger snowstorm Sunday morning. And then we'll be able to talk about more specifics on the snowstorm for Tuesday, February 11th. And then the snowstorm possible on Wednesday and Thursday. And then another one on Friday. I mean, we just got to get through all these snowstorms first. And we're just going to have to take it one storm at a time. Because if we don't, our accuracy is going to be very low. We'll be able to forecast 1 to 2 of these winter storms at a time, of course, especially if they're much closer in time frame. For instance, we have a winter storm tonight into tomorrow, and then we have a winter storm on Saturday. Confidence is high in both of those snowstorms. If we get to Monday, when Monday comes around and we're still looking at a snowstorm Tuesday, we'll be able to tell if there's a snowstorm that's going to happen on Wednesday and Thursday. But there's just too much uncertainty for that. I mean, we are looking at probably the most active February we've seen since 2021 in terms of snow. A lot of the times, February ends up being a kind of an early spring month, not only in terms of severe weather, but also in terms of temperatures. For instance, the 70s and 80s, much of us felt over the last week or so. Normally, that sticks around throughout much of the month of February. February is typically quite above average than what we normally would anticipate. But this year, it looks like it's going to be still for the southeastern U.S., it's going to be above average. We're going to be into those 70s and 80s, most likely, in the southeastern U.S. But for anyone that's outside of the far southeastern U.S., we're probably going to be dealing with just snow and freezing temperatures. Let's look at temperatures actually on the GFS model. Okay, there we go. So this is temperatures for the GFS, and you can see those hotter temperatures in the southern and southeastern U.S. above average in these areas here. But pretty much if you're not in those areas, you're going to be dealing with cooler than average temperatures. I mean, even in those areas, you still are able to get near the freezing mark, especially towards the middle of February, according to this model. So, literally, it might be one of the coolest Februarys we've seen in a long time. Because from my recent memory, I don't remember a good snowstorm, a good multi-snowstorm setup pattern since I'd say 2021. Maybe as far back as like 2018 or 2016, but I remember a few snowstorms in 21 in February. But that's just crazy how February's looking like another January. It is literally looking like another January. That's probably the best way to explain it. February is looking like January. It really is. Let's go ahead and show you guys the temperature outlooks here from the Climate Prediction Center. We'll switch all right back on over to this one. So here's your temperature outlook and precipitation outlook from the 11th through the 15th of February. Again, the only area above average should be the far southeastern and southern United States, with much of the main 48 states here being below average or near normal for temperatures. So really the only area that should be above or well above average will probably be Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, and that's it. That should be the only area that will be well above average for temperatures. So that's literally just 2 out of the 48 main states here in the continental U.S. That will be above average throughout the 11th through 15th time frame of February here. I mean, you might as well just have highlighted the whole entire U.S. for above average. Pretty much everybody is going to be above average for precipitation in the entire 48 states of the U.S. here. Everyone. I mean, maybe far southern Florida doesn't get above average, or extreme southwestern Texas doesn't get above average. But even then, you're probably still going to get a lot of rain, especially since you are in Florida. I don't know about Southwest Texas. I haven't really I don't know their climatology out there. But yeah, overall, everybody's cooler. Everybody's got a lot more precipitation, minus in terms of cool temperatures for Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. Far southeastern Georgia, or rather, far southeastern Alabama, far southern Georgia, and most of Florida will be above average for temperatures. Then as we go on here towards the 13th and 19th time frame, probably going to warm up a little bit more in the southern portions of the U.S., maybe into Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and then maybe into North Carolina and South Carolina as well. But still, much of the U.S. should be around that normal to below average temperatures. Even in this area here, this I don't know what color this is, but kind of orangish, reddish color. Not really too sure, honestly. That's about a 33 to 40% chance of above average temperatures. So you still have a good chance in that area to actually end up being near average for temperatures. And then same goes, much of the U.S. should be above average or near normal for precipitation from the same time frame here, actually, from the 13th through 19th time frame. Only area that may be below average is southwestern Texas into southeastern New Mexico. And then there's your 3 to 4 week temperature outlook, which when we looked at that in our latest video, and I still stand by that, I think this is not going to happen. I do think we'll see warmer temperatures in much of this area here. As well as I do think we'll see below average precipitation in this area. But I still think we're going to end up with well above average precip probably through much of the United States, and most likely cooler than average through much of this portion of the United States from the middle to latter portion of February. And that is it for all your outlooks. We could look even further than that. This is getting into tornado season now. Which I've done my research on this. I've already got my thoughts on tornado season. I just got to put it into a video, which I probably won't do till the end of February, just to make sure our climatology models work out any disagreement. But generally, I'm not going to say my thoughts on this. I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to make you wait all the way until I release my tornado forecast. And then, of course, we're going to do our weather-wise video will be on the 14th of February. It may be on the 13th. I may do it one day earlier. It's either going to be on the 13th or 14th of February. One or the other. One or the other. And then our tornado season outlook will probably be at the end of February. Whenever things start to calm down, if we look at we don't have the CFS on here. But whenever there's a break in weather activity towards the end of February, beginning of March, we will do our tornado season forecast. Let me look at this. And then I do want to do a case study. I'm going to go look at that poll. I assume that the April 27th outbreak is probably still winning. Yep, it is 72% winning on the super outbreak of 2011 for our first case study on the channel. 8% for the largest tornado, 12% for the Tri-State December 10th, 2021 tornado, and then 8% for the latest EF5 tornado. And then, of course, like I said, 72% for the super outbreak. It is winning by a milestone right now. You can vote on that on the community post page on this channel. All right, I'm going to look at the CFS here. The CFS has a high pressure building in on the 27th and the 28th of February. So if that did happen, that's when I would release my tornado season forecast. I'm going to play it by ear. Whenever it gets inactive towards the end of February or beginning of March, I'll start working on that tornado season forecast. And I probably won't heavily edit it. Honestly, the editing takes so much work. I would rather just do it like a normal video and just give you my thoughts on it, to be honest. I do like to edit. I do like to, you know, put cuts in my videos, as well as, you know, little zoom-ins every now and then, but the over editing I used to do. I really just don't find much of a point in it. Personally. I like to make my videos fast paced, get all the information out as fast as possible. That's what I like to do with my videos. Alright, I want to see what LWX said here. TRG, how does my area look snow-wise? I have to drive to Kansas City next Thursday. I wonder why. And I'm really hoping it doesn't snow because Missouri DOT is horrible with roads. Is there a DOT that's not horrible with roads? Well, isn't that something? Oh, wow. That's 2 out of our main 3 global models. Let's look at the last one. Okay, the Canadian model run is your only hope. Why does that go so south? Look how far south that is. Jeez. Let's also look at our ensembles. This will give you a really good idea. This will give you a really, really good idea. You said Thursday? It looks like there's probably going to be some sort of impacts. I can't say whether or not it will be a snowstorm, but it looks like most of these at least have precipitation being present. Personally, I think you'll be fine. Unless we somehow get like a blizzard, like what these 2 ensembles are showing, which is 2 out of 20. I personally don't think there will be anything that will significantly impact the roads. I don't really think we'll have, great agreement on a significant snowstorm. Now, there may be some snow, like you could see 4 inches of snow on Thursday. It would be probably Wednesday night, Thursday morning. But let me go check the... I mean, that mean accumulation, that's your average. It does have about 4 inches of snow, like I said. So it's definitely possible to see some snow, but I don't think it will be like a really impactful winter storm. However, like I said, it looks like it's going to be a low ceiling and a high ceiling at the same time. You could end up with literally nothing but light rain, or you could end up with what some of these GFS ensembles were showing, which has a full blizzard. So, we'll know more, probably, let's see, Thursday, Friday. So, I plan on doing a video and a live stream, hopefully on Monday, to update everyone on the winter storm potential. So that will be when we know the most. But I don't know how it's going to go. I've got a lot of stuff planned over the next 3 weeks. February is very busy for me. It is very busy for me. So just keep an eye on the community post, because that's where I'll be able to update you guys on my next live stream or video. I'm going to plan to live stream on Friday. We're going to go ahead and plan that right now. We'll be live at 6 p.m. Friday evening to update y'all on primarily, let's see. Once we go live on Friday, the nearest system will most likely end up being the snowstorm on maybe as soon as I did the wrong Friday. Probably Saturday's winter storm. Yeah, so we'll be live Friday to update you guys on Saturday's winter storm, which should be one of the more impactful snowstorms. And then we'll do probably a live stream and a video. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be available on Monday. And then we'll just see where we are at that point. We'll just see where we are. Let's see. Anything interesting happening here? We got any... No special weather statements or anything. Oh! It's probably a snow squall special weather statement. Nope, just heavy snow. Not technically a snow squall. I can see that. Oh, wow. That was much more together about an hour and a half ago. That was definitely way more together. Seems like it's falling apart, or it's going over the mountains right now, and we're not able to see it as well. All right, well, if you guys have any questions about the weather here, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. We're getting towards like the last 5-ish minutes of the live stream. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. It goes by quick. 50 minutes goes by very, very quick when you're talking about a very active pattern. I'm trying to think if I skipped out on anything. Ooh! Oh, yes, actually. Just remembered it. This is your probability for impacts from WSSI. So this is your Winter Storm Severity Index. This is the probability of minor winter storm impacts here. And we're going to pull this out all the way till Saturday. So this is Saturday at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. here. And you could see how widespread our winter storm is going to be out here in the north central portions of the U.S. I also want to quickly take a look at the GFS here for just a moment. It looks like our heaviestly impacted areas on Saturday will probably be Minneapolis, Minnesota. We could even get major winter storm impacts. There's about a 20 to 30% chance of major winter storm impacts. That would most likely result in around 9 inches of snow in and around the Twin Cities area in southeastern Minnesota. Going into Sunday morning, you can see that will progress into portions of Michigan, begin in portions of the New England states, and then as we go through Sunday, 7 a.m., and then especially Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m., significantly increases with minor winter storm impacts. And we may be able to even see a major winter storm here on the coastline of the New England states. So possibly like Boston, Concord. Is that Augusta? Yep, Augusta. Those areas could see a major winter storm going into Sunday. Sunday, like I said, I'm very busy Sunday, but hopefully I will be less busy Sunday night. Fingers crossed. Because it would be awesome to be able to cover this. If it doesn't go too fast, though, look at that. This thing hauls on the GFS, man. It enters the New England state Sunday morning, and it is out by Sunday. Actually, nope, this is Saturday night. Enters the New England state Saturday night, and it is out by probably 11 a.m. Sunday morning. This thing that's fast. That is a fast-hitting winter storm right there. There's our 24-hour snow totals. Look at that. Could see up to 10 inches of snow in the matter of 24 hours. Almost a foot there in northwestern Massachusetts. I saw Caleb do something. I have a very, very important question. How's the drought monitor? Look at that yourself. You're a weather nerd. Look at it yourself. Brooklyn, completely opposite for me. I have been busy all day today. I've been running everywhere today. I've been busy today. For some reason, February is just going to be a busy month for me. I've got a lot of stuff planned. Let's see. Well, Legacy, you didn't ask any dumb questions. You've never asked a dumb question. Caleb does almost every stream. Let's see here. But, alright. Oh. The Canadian model run always surprises me because it seems to be extremely aggressive all the time. Jeez. Okay, this is bugged. This is not your total. Okay, this is bugged to death. That is not your total accumulation. Wow. That is really bugged. Okay, this one's not bugged, thankfully. So every single model run has a significant snowstorm happening Sunday morning. Yep, all of them say Sunday morning. I'm sorry, but I am not waking up at 5 a.m. to cover a snowstorm. That is just not in my blood. I don't think you'll ever see me doing that. If it's very historic, literally what I'll do is I'll just go live later in the afternoon or evening and then just loop it instead. You might have Legacy. Let me go look. Oh, yeah, you definitely did. It's to your north. It's in Lakewood. Got a little storm passing by. That's pretty far north, though. You're down here. Hear that thing all the way 33 miles? I'm not too surprised. I think you could hear thunder as far as... I'm not for sure, but 50 miles? I'm pretty sure. I swear it was like 50 miles is as far as you can hear thunder. Ah, 25. Half of what I was saying. 25. Maybe if it was dead quiet, like completely dead quiet, maybe you could hear it a little more than 25 miles, but definitely not 50 miles. But anyways, make sure you guys leave a like on the live stream, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, share this channel with your family, friends, social media. It's greatly appreciated. We're going to go ahead and head off here. I'll be back Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern for another live stream, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to do a live stream and a video Monday. That's the plan right now, and like I said, I'm probably going to be too busy to do anything Saturday or Sunday, but who knows, maybe I'll be able to live stream those days. I'm really just going to play it by ear. I'll try to update you guys in the community post. You could also go to the community post right now. You can go to the community post and vote on what you want our first case study on this channel to be. Right now, April 27th, 2011, the Super Outbreak is winning by probably around 70%. Thank you, Mods for Mod and Chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. And I will see you guys Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, that is going to be it. Stay safe. Watch the severe weather, snowfall. And once again, have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Goodbye. Thank you, mods, for mod in chat, and I will see you guys Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Stay safe. Goodbye.